Hello and welcome back to the channel. We're looking at the 2012 Chevy Volt, and today I just want to talk a little bit about how this vehicle performs in very cold weather. As you guys can see right now, temperatures right now, I believe earlier in the night, a couple of hours ago it was about 10 degrees, but I think right now it should be about maybe 15-20 degrees Fahrenheit. It's not so terrible outside. As you guys can see, I don't have any gloves on, simply because there's no wind. So the wind chill is what actually gets you when it gets this cold. So talking about owning and using a Chevy Volt in very cold weather, the first thing I have to say is that your fuel consumption is going to go up. So that's one thing to be mindful of. Your ICE engine, internal combustion engine, is going to run a little bit more. And the second thing that I want to mention is that this vehicle rides very, very low. I mean, I think even a Toyota Corolla, Camry, all those vehicles, they sit much higher from the ground compared to this vehicle. And part of that is simply for the aerodynamics. So you guys can see right down here, it has a skirt that goes beyond the bumper. You can see where it's even cracked right here. So it has that skirt, and of course it has the grille, which is actually below here. So it's very aerodynamic, but it sits quite low, and I think that also boosts the fuel efficiency of the vehicle. That's the second thing I was going to talk about. And then the third thing is I had a question, because the gear shift on this vehicle has two levels of regen. You have the regular drive with the D, and then you have the L, which would be the equivalent of the B position in vehicles like the Toyota Prius, and that simply boosts the regen. So initially I tried to drive on L, then I got worried that if I'm driving with so much regen and I hit a patch of ice on the road at speed, the front wheels might try to regen, and that might be interpreted like braking differentially just on the front, and it could actually make you skid around. So I got scared, moved it back to D for driving, but that did not really help either, because then the vehicle costs so much, and I touched the brake very lightly and the ABS kicked on and I almost lost control of the vehicle. What I did to remedy that is I took the vehicle to a field where there was nobody off-road, and I slammed on the brake a couple of times, and what I would call a normal braking function resumed. I don't know what you all's experience is with these vehicles, but if you guys take a look back here, now you can see my rear brake showing some use. But before, even after extensive use before this cold wave, I had an issue where it looked like just the front brakes were effective together with the regen. So just something to be aware of. Also, you might have some issues with this port opening and closing in cold weather, because the snow gets there and it looks like at this point of contact there's some heat generated from the electrical contacts, melts it makes a little bit of ice, and you could find yourself with the door having difficulties opening or shutting. Okay, let's jump inside. Oops, let me use the key here, the key fob. Open. Again, like I said, this is a 2012, and so far the vehicle has been treating me good. You can see it showed that it has just 26 miles of range, and that's with full overnight charging. This is a new battery, the high voltage battery. It's less than 2 years old, just about 2 years old. And during the warmer months, I would get about 35 to 36 miles, and once a couple of times I've had 37 miles on a full charge. But I really haven't conditioned it because the person that I bought it from, I think they mostly used gas, so the battery has not really been cycling between, I think it's 40 to 60 or 80% that they allow you to use on these batteries. All right, let's go ahead and start the vehicle. Do the usual startup sequence. That's what the screen looks like when the vehicle is starting up. It does its little test. Eyes possible, drive with care. Typically the internal combustion engine wouldn't turn on, but if you guys listen carefully, you would realize that it actually turned on now. Let's go ahead and do some controls there. Get those up. And actually, being that I'm still right here at home, I could have conditioned the car for a few minutes while still plugged in. It would have used grid electricity to warm up the vehicle and get it ready for the drive. But because I didn't do that, and the temperature is just 17 degrees, it's going to use the internal combustion engine. Let's get some information from the airport in Minot. It's taking a while. Yeah, that takes a few moments. But what I like about this is it's got the DVD player, so you can actually watch DVD movies while you're in the car, provided you are not driving. Over the past 12,000 miles, you can see I averaged about 33 miles per gallon. Most of my highway driving would be about 70 miles an hour. And that's about it. So using the Chevy Volt in cold weather, it's fun. It's got the heated seats, which I really adore when it gets this cold. But just bear in mind your mileage is gonna drop. Your vehicle sits low, so it's very easily going to be high centered, and whether you choose to use D or L when driving, let's see if we can get that to focus. It's totally up to you. For me, I have mixed results, but for now I stick with my L in snowy weather. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye now.